Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order of the Town of Lake Clark Shores Code Enforcement Board hearing August 24th, 6:30 PM. Emily, could you please call roll?
Paul Hughes.
Present.
Gerard Sanchez.
Present.
Ariel Hernandez.
Present.
Deb Moody.
Present.
Wesley Cook.
Present.
Taylor Materio.
Present.
Okay, we'll stand and pledge allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Or second?
I'll second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next item is the consent agenda, which includes approval of the minutes of our July 27th meeting. Any unfinished cases now in compliance and any new cases now in compliance. Dana, do we have any cases on the agenda that are in compliance?
Yes.
Okay,
On the page 2,
mhm.
the first two cases, we took those off last meeting, right? He's just here to discuss his fines.
Yes.
Okay,
I thought that we put those in compliance.
right.
The second case down on page 2, case number 22-0294. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. The last case, same address, just the last case. Under new cases, 22-0356 for the 2 pods at 7404 Pine Tree Lane. That is placed into compliance. On page 3, 1, 2, 3, fourth case down. Case number 22-0360 and 22-0361 are both placed into compliance. Joseph and Miguel and Zunlinda Molina. And then the last case on that page, case 22-0363, Daniel Carroll and Ivanka Carroll for the mildew on the driveway is placed into compliance. Page 4, top case, same address, case number 22-0364 for the mildew on the roof. That is also in compliance, and that is all.
For clarification, Dana,
Yeah.
is the case 22-0362, Miguel Jose Joseph and Zunilda Molina, is that one still not in compliance?
Correct, I didn't
Okay.
say that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Alrighty. Chair would remind the board members if you've had any discussions with any of the cases present with the individuals, property owners, if you would please
Or visits in general.
indicate that at the time the case is heard.
Brought forth.
Okay. If anyone will be testifying tonight, if you would please stand and be recognized and sworn in by the town's attorney.
Please stand. If you're going
If
to
you're gonna speak
be
tonight.
testifying,
That would be all of us.
yes. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give me the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dana, is there any preference to which way we go first?
I pretty much know which house everyone's at, and Mr. Friedman is here. So if you want to just go ahead,
Okay.
since
Start
it's
from
first
the
on the list.
Lien and position hearing, case 22-0292. Where we're at is
Yes.
we have a present fine of,
He has 2 cases.
right. And 22-0293. So has the lien been,
No, there's a
Not-
fine. There was a fine. and then they came into compliance on August 4th.
Right,
So we stopped the fine at that time.
okay. So currently there's a fine in place of totaling $400 plus administrative costs, which in the first case is $400 and in the second case, $400. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Mr. Friedman's property is now in compliance. Do you want to oppose the lien?
Is Mr. Friedman here?
Yes, he's right there.
Yes.
Yeah, just give us a second, Mr. Friedman. Do you just want to hear from Mr. Friedman? I mean, he's come into compliance.
I think he's
So-
here. I think we should hear from him.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Friedman?
Thank you. Yeah, I guess we were on two different pages when I came here the first time. And, you explained that as long as I made progress and blah, 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 blah. And I explained to you that I was going to be out of the country. I wasn't going to be able to attend the next meeting. And my understanding of this is I had until this meeting to come do whatever happened last meeting. So I was out of the country. I had no contact. The only thing I could fill out was a little contact information card because I don't know if the phone website is different than a laptop website. I sent her an email and said, hey, just so you know, I want to remind you for the next commission meeting, I'm not going to be there, explain basically what was going on. So I was surprised when I came home and literally whatever day she put the thing in my door, I called her up immediately and I said, hey, I'm very confused right now because I thought I had an understanding that you guys were giving me until the next commission meeting. And immediately called her up for a reinspection because everything was pretty much already done. So I was a little disappointed to see that, knowing that I thought we had an understanding that you were going to give me a little bit of time.
I guess you misunderstood that we were asking you to be in compliance.
No, you weren't asking me to be in
By-
compliance. You were asking me to take steps prior to that to show you that I was going to be able to take care of whatever I need to take care of before the insurance company was going to settle with me and all this, stuff was going on with the courts. So that was our conversation. It wasn't, you have 30 days to fix this, or I don't care what happens, you're going to be fined. That's not the conversation that we had.
That you recall.
No.
One of the things that did come up at the last meeting was communications with Dana,
Yeah,
and we weren't able to receive any reporting that communications had taken place about the steps that we were moving forward
well,
with.
that's the confusion that I think, sadly, I walked away from here thinking, oh, okay, when I come back, I'll communicate with her. Everything will be in compliance. When I come back to the next meeting, everything will be taken care of. I come up here and this is my first day back. Because it was impossible for me to be here. And I was in Guatemala in the mountains. I can't.
Well, I think we understood that you weren't going to be present, but what we had asked was that as you moved through the process, that you communicated that with Dana and that she would bring it to the meeting on your behalf.
And I also
Because I
explained
think
that
we
I was
were-
no way for that to happen.
No, because we even went through the process of, here's how you get her email. This is what we're going to do.
I never got her email until I called. I came back, I saw the thing on the 4th. I must have called here 20 times. I left multiple messages over there. It wasn't until I physically had to ask for her email. There was no correspondence. There was no information going back and forth. That's not how it was.
For Dana, do we have a copy of the board order that was sent out after the July meeting?
Yes, but he's leaving out something. How he communicated with me is he went on the Lake Clark Shores website where you file a complaint on over the weekend and said, I need to be able to send you stuff. So I responded back to the email that he provided and I never got anything from him. So I don't know where I've
Because I
called
can't
here 20
attach any-
times is
there's
coming
no-
from. That's false.
No,
Okay,
that's the
well,
only way I could find a correspondence with anybody from where I was at.
Did she email you back from that website?
Later on,
I wasn't working when you sent it.
I know, but I mean, that's.
And did you respond back to her?
I
No.
responded back when I came home and saw that, like I said, it's not like she responded to me, like, this was after the meeting already happened. It's not like she said, hey, send me the stuff you have because I'll take it to the meeting. It was, the meeting's already done.
They told you at the meeting where you said.
I just feel
to
that
make the next meeting.
there
I'll
should be
out
some type
town.
of fine leniency because obviously I took care of everything that needed to be taken care of. It was like 4 days if you want to get technical. And again, I don't understand how it's such rigidity that you guys have and don't have an understanding and common sense about what's going on out with insurance claims and tarps on the roof. It's not like I put a sandbag up there and had a Home Depot tarp up there. It was a professionally installed tarp. The minute you told me to get compliant, excuse me for being 4 days late and missing the meeting because I had prior engagements.
Is there anyone else living at your house?
That at the time that I was gone, no. I have 3 children and a wife and we were all gone out of town.
So the work was being done without you being there?
No, it was already done before I even left. If I would have came here, if I would have called the number up and had her inspect it before I left, it would have been a different
How
story.
was the work done before you left? The
The-
work was
the-
not done before you
the-
left because you sent me an email
the-
on the website. Let me finish my sentence. You sent me an email on the website of where to send the things that you got from contractors. So if the work was done prior to the meeting, why would you ask me to send me things
No.
from contractors if you were already in compliance?
The problem with what I was sending her was roof quotes.
Right, but if you were in compliance before, you weren't in compliance. That's.
Because when you send something to me, it was me trying to communicate with you. Me not understanding that I had to have all this stuff done before
Yeah, there's-
the last meeting. I don't think it's fair.
Well, I don't think you had to have everything done by the last meeting. You just had to show Dana
He didn't have everything.
that you
I had
a
the
contract.
walls done and the minute that and again, I
What we
thought I
did-
had until today. to have it
What
done
we
anyway.
discussed in the
4
last,
days. I'm sorry. go
what
ahead.
we discussed in the last meeting was demonstrating that the work was in progress in some capacity. So if you had a quote from the contractor, I think all of us are understanding as to the process, which is why we set it in place the way that we did. If you had quotes,
It was
you could have
literally
sent those to Dana before you left and she
literally
could have brought
4
them.
days
That's,
after the meeting. And again, I don't understand how you guys can't.
That
whatever
would
the-
have been great
whatever
if
the
4
letter-
days after the meeting. you
Whatever
gave
the
those
letter, the law,
documents.
I did. The
4
let-
days after the meeting, you contacted
Well,
her and-
yes.
and demonstrated that you were in
Yes.
compliance.
That after the meeting, yes.
Yes.
Not now. Your prior statement was, I was in compliance by the last meeting. You were not.
With the
wanted to
paint,
send
with
stuff
the, with
When you came back
with the
from your
one code,
vacation
with
and
the
you got
one
your
code
code order,
violation, I was.
you took care of
And
the
then the
stuff.
moment that, again, the moment that you said that like the meeting was over and you're fining me, yes, I took care
I
of it.
didn't, that's the.
I took care of it immediately. So
Yep.
again,
4 days after the meeting would have been July 31st.
that's fine. It's 8
4 days
but
after,
It's fine. It was
well,
8
she
days.
didn't give me the letter until August 4th, I believe.
I mean, there's no way for us to know what's going on. We host a meeting. We're going over the facts we have before us at that time when we make,
Yeah, I guess the
Like-
point is if we had heard in some way, whether it's directly or indirectly, that you were working on it, we wouldn't have
I
imposed. we
contacted
wouldn't-
her that I was doing all
we
that.
wouldn't have
I
imposed-
couldn't send I didn't send her any definitive quotes, blah, but I did contact her and say, look, I'm making progress towards whatever's going on. Just to remind you, I'm not going to be able to make it to the next meeting. And I'm sorry that unfortunately I don't have 20-minute back and forth
So
email
I-
and text messages with her,
I will read what he sent me,
please.
because, so that the truth is there.
And what's the date on that, Dana?
The date of his email, July 23rd, a Saturday. So sorry, I said a Sunday. It was a Saturday at 10:05 a.m. He went on to the Lake Clark Shores website and put contact us. And in the description, his address is confidential, so I'm not saying that. It says, you provide a way for me to send documentation to satisfy the request of me obtaining quotes to repair the code violations. I will not be able to attend the next commission meeting. That's all he put. So I responded back on Monday at 12:20 PM. Good afternoon. Here is my email for you to send anything you would like for me to show to the code board members at the meeting on Wednesday. I did not get anything.
Commission meeting was Wednesday. I did not return home until Friday. She gave me the letter the
Yeah,
first
that's
day of
fine.
the next week and.
Alright, That's
I took
fine.
care of everything.
In my view, we got compliance and it was ugly, it was messy, but I'm ready to move on. And I would like to make a motion that based on the evidence, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 22-0292, I move that the board waive the fine of $400 and the administrative costs of whatever they were. I don't know what they are. They're not listed.
Is there a second? If there's no second, the motion fails. So we'll go back to discussion.
Discuss.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'm sure all of you are highly educated up there, and I think that you can see that I'm not like some dude running around lollygagging out here. I do what I'm supposed to do. Excuse me that it was a little bit late to your understanding. I apologize for not communicating a little bit better. You can ask my wife, ex-wife also. And it's not much. I mean, I've never had any problems like this. Any correspondence I've had with the city has been awesome and amazing. And it blows my mind that 36 days without any compassion or,
There was a process and there was a meeting.
Okay, yeah, I know it's written in stone, whatever ABC equals D, but there's plenty of, thank God I'm able-bodied and resourceful enough to be able to do this stuff. Oh God, I feel bad for the 82-year-old lady that's trying to do an insurance claim with Citizens. They can't
We've had
afford
quite
to do anything
a,
like
quite
that.
a few
Yeah,
older residents. in
So
here come in.
thankfully I'm in,
follow the
whatever,
process.
$400 is $400 is not gonna break me, but to me, it's a matter of principle. And with everything going on, craziness of stupidity, I would hope that a small little community like this would want to help their citizens instead of checkbox, A says code enforcement violation, $10,000 it costs to put that tarp. It was a commercial grade tarp. It's not like I went to Home Depot
So-
and bought a $50 tarp.
To be clear, well, I know we're talking about this case specifically, but it is this
Or stupid.
0293. So it's technically it's going to be $800 here that you're
Okay.
discussing, right?
So $1,000. It's thankfully I'm in a position that's not gonna, I'll still be able to buy groceries. I'll still be able to afford my
Just
car
clarifying.
insurance, whatever. But it's disappointing that the rigidity and lack of compassion or understanding is that prevalent.
I
So
think that,
we had a motion to waive the fine. So now the chair would entertain a motion to reduce the fine. That's all our only options,
Or impose it, right?
or
Or
impose.
impose it at full.
Well, I'll make a motion then.
Okay,
Based upon the testimony evidence presented in case number 22-0292, I move that the board impose the lien of $400 plus recording of the lien unless paid within 10 days. So we won't incur any more costs other than the $400.
is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, is there further discussion? Are you ready to vote?
Are we interested in reducing it?
Well, the motion is to impose the $400 fine. If you want to.
there is a second case as well that we're going to be discussing
Right.
next.
If you want to reduce the fine by amendment, you can do so. Otherwise, you vote against it or for the main motion.
All right.
Are you ready to vote on the motion, or does anyone want to amend it? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone against? Motion carries.
So Ariel,
All right.
No.
The next case is Mr. Friedman, 220293. Basically the same issue related to mildew on the roof, the residence, which came into compliance on August 4th. The fine is $400 plus administrative costs that's proposed.
I would entertain reducing or eliminating this fine because it is attached to the first one. We've had that conversation before. You know, the mildew goes hand in hand with the roof repair and that sort of thing.
Do you want to make a motion?
One case was the roof and one case was the residence. So they don't go hand in hand.
I understand, but what was described to us in this regard was that because of the roof, when it was presented to
Okay.
us,
I just wanna
because
make
of the
sure,
roof issue,
We did it.
He had-
the other way.
yeah, he had the mildew on the home.
That was my understanding as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So waiving the fine. So based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 22-0293, I move that this board waives the fine of $400 and the administrative cost of, what is it?
Don't know.
It's
We don't know yet?
Not listed yet. I'll second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Does anyone wish to amend the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Mr. Friedman, thank you for coming.
On the first one, are we clear that if Mr. Friedman pays that within 10 days, we won't record the lien? Is that correct?
That's
No,
what,
I'm just saying, I want to make sure that we're all understanding.
that's what the motion stated.
Yeah.
Right, just want to make sure Mr.
And
Friedman.
you have that right, Emily?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, the next case would be case 220294.
Miss Nicole Johnson, the homeowner, is here today. So she can come up. Between her and the other young lady that had come before, I don't know if you guys remember.
The property manager.
They've been in full blown contact with me. I haven't noticed the fence to be down, so I appear that hopefully that had gotten corrected. And they're currently working on the fence. They have their permits and hers is a true work in progress. Those are old photos.
Oh,
There's newer ones.
Hold on a minute.
So
Yeah, you
we're,
can-
Yeah, you
so where we left the last meeting is we imposed a fine of $100 a day until compliance is achieved. Total amount currently stands at $2,900 plus administrative cost to record a lien. I'm sorry, what was your name?
Nicole Johnson.
Miss Johnson. All yours.
Thank you. First, I want to apologize for the lag in ability to get the fence up. As Emily explained at the first meeting, honestly, our job is so small that we're having a hard time finding the contractors. Since that first meeting, we have had a fence contractor commit to putting it in. Request for permit has been submitted. We called to verify that has not come back from the building inspector as of yet. As soon as that comes in, our chain link fence along the perimeter will be going up. And we have also poured all footers for the front fence and have begun erecting the front fence. Additionally, we have 2 barriers on the property, one directly around the pool, as well as at the front of temporary to secure the property. For a length amount of time, we actually emptied the pool so that there was no water in there to lower our liability. Obviously, understand the sensitivity of the nature of this and apologize for my misunderstanding and not really understanding that we weren't in full compliance until the true erection of permanent fencing was up. I was under the understanding that it was the temporary that needed to just be up all the time. And we were having the issues with the contractor leaving it down. So that was my fault in not properly communicating that or kind of not understanding it second party. Emily is my marketing manager that I've had to pull off of my regular business to tackle this project because it's just a crazy world we're in right now and has become way bigger of a problem than we ever anticipated.
As I recall, the main problem was that you had the orange temporary fence, but it was fairly consistent that it wasn't up a lot of the time.
But also
Is that-
they have an orange fence around the actual pool also.
And I pulled up Papa and you can actually see the orange fence around the pool. I know you guys don't have access to go onto our property, but I do have a screenshot of Papa that does show that orange fence has been there. I don't know when that was taken, so I can't stage that. I don't know if you'd like me to show you guys. And then as you can see in this, you can start to see the permanent fence is going up. I am told that front facing permanent fence will be done, hoping for Friday, may lead into Saturday. But the concrete is poured and I took the pictures of that into the footers and they're just waiting for that to cure to be able to properly adhere the posts into the concrete.
So you have that fence on that side of the house, and the opposite side of the house, it's still
If
open?
that's where the footers are
going
poured,
in?
it's still curing.
So technically, so that side is done.
Their
This side is
cars were
being.
kind of, the workers were working, so I didn't get better photos. for them.
And then the other thing that happened immediately getting the notification is we resecured the front with 2x4s as opposed to just the rebar to further have some
Reinforce.
rigidity to it so it's not falling down as much.
As I recall, when Emily, is that the other person, your general contractor?
Mhm.
As I recall, when she came here, she guaranteed us that the fence would never be down again, or pretty close to guaranteed it. She was going over the next day to make sure to tell the workers that the fence was going to be fixed and it wasn't a problem. And I'm not sure that was done.
So it was done. I myself have spoken with the contractors, every single person. Unfortunately, a guarantee from one person controlling another person's body is very hard. I apologize for her that she made a guarantee of such nature. It's almost impossible to guarantee that somebody else will not do it. We have continuously spoken with them. We have asked for pictures upon leaving the job site just to ensure, it's been a battle indeed.
If I remember correctly, Emily was not at the last meeting where we imposed the fine, correct?
So it was my understanding, and again, I took the second party and that's my fault. I was under the understanding that Lieutenant Fisher was aware that we had a trade show in Orlando during that last meeting for our primary business and were unable to attend that and had provided an update. Again, there was some crosshairs. I talked to Lieutenant Fisher for the first time immediately following that meeting when we got this notice. And, unfortunately, I should have been more in communication with her and not trusting Emily, but I felt like she was here. She lives I'm in Tampa. I'm doing this renovation from 3 hours away. And that's why I pulled her to kind of be my eyes and ears on site because unfortunately the contractors aren't as reliable as I hoped that they would be. So we are, like I said, trying to be fully in compliance on both natures by the end of next week. Certainly no later than the end, like prior to the next meeting, which is the end of next month. Like I said, the chain link's going to go up immediately after the permit comes back, and this should be done by the end of the week.
I have a process question.
So do I.
Are we able to continue a case in this stage?
I suppose we are, but I don't.
Yeah, I would think you can, sure.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, they're making progress, but no, nothing's guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. And just say if I'd like to honor good faith effort, and if we can extend it and they come into compliance in the time that they're telling us in the next 5 or 10 days, then I feel like we can work with that. I think the reinforced safety net, the orange safety nets, that being reinforced based on the testimony, that is good. I know that having firsthand experience of construction, how well those barriers work, if they're tacked probably with a 2x4 to the concrete side of the house or something with some tap cons is probably how they did it. And I'm guessing just from experience.
Are
So
you suggesting to waive the fee and continue the case?
pause everything, do nothing, and wait for next month until the
We
outcome.
can't do nothing.
The fine is continuing to run because
Right.
they're not in compliance.
Yeah, but
yet.
then we can also decide to say timestamp, okay, they came into compliance, and we count the days to whenever it came into compliance, and then we can adjust the fine as well.
And that happens during the normal course of a case. If they come into compliance on Monday, they would notify
Yes.
Dana that they're in compliance. She can do her inspection, the fine will stop, and then they could come back at the next meeting and talk about the fine
Yeah, and
or a
so,
fine reduction.
yeah, and so recognizing that we had that conversation in the last meeting, but now work has come done or is being done, has been done, continues to be done.
Daryl, do you want to make a motion?
And they do communicate with me.
Isn't
So
there
I
a
would.
lake behind there or canal?
They have a lake and they do not have to have a fence.
Yeah.
Just down the sides and the front.
It's only, the water is a barrier.
Yep.
To the property. The canal is the barrier to the property. I would make a motion to continue and postpone the matter to the September 28th meeting. And should you come in compliance, it's immediately come to compliance, immediately report that. That will have that timestamp, and then we'll be able to have a conversation about next steps. And
Okay, so Ariel, your motion is to continue the case
yeah,
until the next meeting.
until the
Is
next
there a
meeting.
second?
I'll second.
Okay, now we're in discussion again. Is there
Sorry.
Any further discussion?
How are we gonna guarantee, because the same situation, and I understand, but I guess I take the seriousness of, obviously you have a pool, I know you don't have to have a lake, but should anything have ever had happened, this town, yourself, there would be a lot of heat and if an unfortunate situation happened, which I think this is what the seriousness, and it kept repeating afterwards. It wasn't a one time, it wasn't a 2-time, it was multiple times over multiple months. So I just, that's the situation. I understand. And honestly, I don't know how these contractors are gonna learn unless they get slapped with something or feel the ding, because honestly, everybody either has children or they know of the hazard or loss. So I'm kind of hesitant about in regards to this.
Are you speaking and you're opposed to the motion?
I'm opposed to it.
Is there further discussion? Go ahead.
I just want to also point out that a lot of those situations that were happening when they were continuously down and we got notification, the pool was completely empty during those times. I have 2 young girls myself. I understand the gravity of water danger. And I fully intend to be putting a baby gate around this and the seawall. For those reasons, it's a nightmare that no one wants to live. And I do take it seriously as well. So just want to put that on the record.
And I can attest the pool did not have water when I issued the first violation. Like I said, I could see through the front door because there was no walls in the home. I could see the pool. Or after I gave the violation, orange fencing, and then there was no water in it.
Okay, so we have a motion to continue the case until September 28th, and it's been seconded. Is there any further discussion? Are you ready to vote? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Okay, the motion carries.
I appreciate it.
Okay, and
We'll get back to you ASAP with,
yeah, and you'll stay in touch with us between now and our next meeting.
yes, hopefully I have some quick updates real quick.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks for coming. All righty, the next case is continued cases. 220050, Mr. and Ms. Shear.
He's here, but he has an emergency going on with his daughter, so he'll probably pop back in. So if we want to just go to the next case.
Okay,
Okay.
then the next would be on our agenda.
7420 Pine Tree Lane.
7404, I thought we.
7420 Pine Tree Lane. There's no one in
The
here.
first one on page 3.
First one on page
Oh.
Do you want them to hear your case? Okay, he's back in here. So that.
Oh, all right, so now we're back to Mr. Shear, correct?
Yes, 8060 Westlake Drive.
Okay,
I haven't had any communication with him up until today when I was taking photos and he was outside. And he misunderstood and thought the meeting was next week. So he stopped what he was doing and made sure that he came to the meeting, and I told him to just explain everything that's going on to you guys. Yeah.
if you want to, come on up here, Mr. Shear. Before you start, the property was found in violation, and the board chose to continue the case until this meeting to give you an opportunity to apply for a variance.
Yes, sir. And
Where are we?
so since then, I've spent $500 on getting an updated survey because my survey was just out of date. I know that was a serious factor with complying with the board. On top of that, the gentleman who was an arbor who suggested where I should actually place the structure for my gardening, my orchids and all my plants, where he suggested to place the structure. I have a call with him and he's getting me by Friday a letter saying where he recommended to place the arbor for my orchid arbor.
You mean somewhere other than where it is right now?
No, sir.
Oh.
He originally recommended that spot due to the fact of how my property sits.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you're aware with how my property lays out on the Papa map, but essentially there's really no other places to eliminate all the exposures as far as excess sun, orchids. I don't know if you're familiar with orchids, but they're not, they like filtered light. So, I built the orchid arbor actually in a avocado tree, some cumbrance it, and it's, a nice shaded area. So he recommended that area to me, and he's also writing a letter for that. I have an updated survey.
Can we keep this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For the record, I printed out two for you guys. So I've also spent $500 on that. I'm meeting with my attorney on Friday, who's helping me with the variance. And truthfully, like I said, I'm not here to hide from you guys. I've also, since then, I've bought an 8045, the house directly across the street from me. And I've been pouring all my energy into that. And truthfully, when I saw Ms. Fisher today, I was in awe because I really thought it was next Wednesday. And I'm not here to, I'm not here to hide or not comply. I appreciate what you guys do, and I think it's important for our neighborhood. And,
So Emily, it's not applied for a variance
No,
because you're getting the information in order to apply for a variance. Is that what you understand, Dana?
That's why I
That he
understood.
got information?
He's acquiring the information to apply for a variance.
Yes, that's what he's.
So he's not
hoping to do.
applied yet.
I
Hasn't applied.
have not applied, sir.
Okay.
My goal was to apply on Monday.
Okay.
Because my understanding is, I thought it was next week. And that's why I showed up today. I know you guys were gracious with the last, extension. But, it's a special part of my heart. I love the structure. My family, we use it every day. And I understand that, it could affect the person next to me in the future. But like I said, I'm not here to hide anything. Essentially have a meeting Friday to get everything in, and I was putting it on Monday so I thought it was Wednesday.
At the present time, Dana, do we have any complaints in the neighborhood?
No, I haven't had any since
Okay,
like when it was first issued, I think.
okay. So any questions?
Yeah, I have a question,
Mhm.
maybe for Emily. How long does it take to get a variance? Right now, we're 90 days out, as I recall. He was here in April.
Right.
It's now August.
So the next zoning board meeting is in September, but I think he's too late to apply for that one, so it would go to November.
And we talked about this in April, about when the meetings were being held. But my question is, what took so long to get your ducks in a row for a variance?
I mean, I wasn't able to get a survey till June. If you look at the survey,
Dated June 13th.
June 13th, a good comparison is the lady speaking about the contractors. Our community is backed up.
Oh, I just asked them. I'm not
Yeah,
complaining.
no,
That was
I'm
a
just-
question for our
I'm just
information.
saying, it's everything's backed up. It took me a while, till June. It's summer. We've been traveling. We've also been working on the house across the street. And you know what? I thought I had till Monday to be able to get this in, and it was a life error. And I want to comply with you guys. We own 3 homes now in the neighborhood. We love it here. I'm a realtor. I love pushing the neighborhood. And I think, we have a huge future for us here. And, by all means, I want to comply with the board by all means, because I love calling this my home.
Is there a motion to adopt this survey into the record?
Yes.
Motion.
So is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Further discussion from Mr. Shearer.
I just feel like we're just going down the road. It's kind of, this all started in April. We're now in August. I get the backup and all that, but now we're now going into November. Once he gets his ducks in a row, all needed, he won't be able to request that variance until, I guess, their November meeting is what he's on.
Yeah, I think so. If I remember correctly, it has for the September meeting, I think the documents had to be in by August 1st because we need to publish it in the newspaper. But I'm not 100% sure. I don't take care of the zoning board, so.
Are you applying for this variance on your own, or do you have an attorney representing you?
I have another, one of my clients who also lives in the neighborhood. I explained to her I was very lost about this. We explained that situation last time, and essentially she's a good client friend of mine, and it's more of she's helping me make sure I can comply and get everything in properly. I have text messages showing that we're speaking this week, and by all means, like I said.
I know you're waiting for a letter from the person who referred you to put this in this location. But if you've had the survey since June, you could have applied for the variance in June or July or all of August. And here we are almost September and you still haven't applied.
Well, I'm also having my site plan will be done by Friday. I have my site plan and letter from my arbor.
Are those required for your application for the variance?
I was advised that it would help strengthen the case. Because a lot if you read what it takes to apply for a variance, there's a lot of things in there that are very more complex than I would say the average, average
Right.
Joe could.
That's why I asked if you were applying yourself or if you had an attorney or someone who was going to be representing.
I do have a local town attorney who lives in the neighborhood that's helping me with this.
one option is to impose a fine on, for Mr. Shear to come into compliance by a certain date.
And by him obtaining the variance won't put him into compliance. He would then need to come into compliance based on whatever is approved by the zoning board. If they say it's okay, fine, he can keep it there.
Or not
Won't he
approved.
still need a permit for it? Is that how this started?
Just a reminder too, after it goes to the zoning board, then it has to be approved by the town council.
Right.
So,
So that puts it into December.
mhm.
And then is he going to need a permit for this after the fact? So then you're going to need to apply for a permit after council approves it and then get your inspections. That is when you would be in compliance. So in my estimation, you're looking at probably
February.
January. Right?
January or February.
Yeah.
Not only that, that's if the town council accepts it. Well, it can be turned down at the variance, it can be turned down at the town council. And then,
Then you're dealing with tearing it down or moving it if there's another
Well, I
place.
mean, I could always put it on, I could make it movable. I could cut it in half or in quarters and make it movable. I could put it on a pallet and make it 4 structures and not, I could, essentially right now, it's ready for a hurricane. I built this 2 code. I'm a realtor. I bought the house across the street. If that's flying anywhere, it's going to fly into my house or the house across the street. Like I said, I'm not here to, till January. It's a happy place for me. And by all means, if I need to make it movable, I'll make it movable. But, I'm here to comply. I've not missed one meeting. And like I said, we now own 3 properties here in Lake Clark, all on Westlake. And, it's not bothering anyone. It's
So we could continue this case. We could impose a fine. We could, I don't know, I think that's where we are.
I've already invested money into making this right with the town.
I understand.
I'm a young father and, it's.
Is there any further discussion? Anyone like to make a motion?
This is a hard one.
Got to make a decision, guys.
Yeah.
I'll make one. Based upon the testimony and evidence presented in case number 220294, I move that this board find the respondents in violation of sections 125-475I. No,
I think you're
sorry,
reading the wrong
I'm
one.
on the wrong one, sorry. 220050,
Yes.
and the section is 10-91A of the town code of ordinance, and impose a fine in the amount of $50 a day commencing next month. Next meeting would be September 28th. September 28th, which shall continue and accrue until the respondents comes into compliance.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Now we're in further discussion to the motions.
What's the goal for the motion is because it's still not going to be in compliance when we get to that date.
Well, then he can tell us where he is, and we can do like we've done with this other gentleman, or the lady here, and say, let's look at it, and then when he finally gets in, then we can look at the fine.
He's also suggested that he could make it movable. He could make it a 4-piece structure that could then be moved, and he could then be in compliance until he gets his variance.
Well, but if he moved it, it would have to still meet the code.
Mhm.
And I don't know about a movable,
Could you define a structure for me, please?
I guess I'm saying, I don't know if you move that structure and make it portable, whether it would be in compliance to the town's code for a structure like that to not be, I guess, permanent.
It wouldn't be permanent. I could lay it on the floor.
Oh, you're saying collapse it?
I could collapse it.
Okay. So remove it, basically.
Well, essentially, right now, it's buried 2.5 feet down with concrete, and it's hurricane strapped because I'm not here to have this thing fly off into anyone else's house. I'm a realtor. I'm all about going by the, building things to code. And essentially what I'm saying is, I could cut the footings off, put it on a pallet.
You could
cut
take
it
it
into
down, is
four.
what you're saying.
I could move it easily.
So if he takes it down, then you'd be in compliance.
Well,
Well, if he takes it down, he puts it back up. I'm just curious, the height of that, I don't know exactly what the code is, but is a height going to be an issue with the code, with the?
Well, that's why you take,
I think he would take it down until he gets his variance.
right?
well, essentially, if it's movable, it's not a structure anymore.
Well,
I
I'm not sure
don't
about
think
that. I
that's
think
true. It would still be a structure.
Even if I remove the roof?
What I think if it's just sitting there on the ground is what you're saying, that would still be a structure.
But at the
Can
same
you
time,
define a structure for me?
No one would see it in the town if,
Yeah, I wouldn't see it if he took it all apart and then the case is closed.
technically, we wouldn't know if it was there or not.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, let's move forward. I think we ought to come to set something up,
So,
and then
so we
down
have-
in January, if there's $700 or whatever it is in fine, then gentlemen come in front of us and say, listen, I did this, because town didn't have a meeting or whatever it was, or I couldn't do it, then we can adjust the fine. But I think we have to move forward.
so we have a motion that's been moved and seconded to impose a fine of $50 a day to be effectively started on September 28th. If Mr. Shear hasn't come into compliance, is that what we said?
Yes.
Yep.
And you can check with the building official as to what the definition of a structure is. He can look in his zoning code or building.
Yeah,
code.
no, I just want to know. I mean, like I said, I'm not here to hide. I want to come in
Are we ready to
compliance.
vote on the motion?
Yeah.
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed?
Opposed?
Motion's been moved and seconded. I'm sorry, moved. Motion's approved, passed. Okay,
I just have a question.
Yes.
So are we gonna bring him back at the next meeting or not?
Yes.
to the September 28th, where we're going to impose a fine if we don't have any information to,
Okay,
I would suggest that he
Should
comes
not-
to the September and updates us.
yes.
so the fine is
Would
or
begin the
will
28th.
be imposed? Is
Hmm?
not, is
Maybe
it
imposed.
will be imposed or may be
I don't
imposed?
know, what was the intent, Wes? Will be or maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, is any objection to that?
No.
Okay,
I plan on having it in next week, early next week, like as of Monday.
sorry this took so long.
As soon as you get it.
I know. I just want to enjoy the garden.
I understand.
Thank
We
you,
want you
guys.
to too.
Good, thanks for
Let Dana
coming.
know about your progress. Keep in contact with her.
Okay, now I believe we're on page three.
Your daughter.
No, Page 3.
Yes.
Case 220357, RGSG Inc., operating a business out of a resident without a current business tax receipt. Is there any additional information, Emily?
No, they have not applied for a business tax
Still no,
receipt.
no application?
No.
Okay. Is anyone here
No,
related to that case? No.
no one's here for that. Do you want to go back to it,
What?
to this case?
Go back to it?
Yeah, they were supposed to come, but they didn't come. Or you want me to discuss it?
To say discuss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
get it over with.
I didn't be long tonight, so
I mean, there's no application for a business tax receipt, or it's not paid, so
Yeah, pretty
Um,
straightforward.
I don't know how much more discussion we need.
Well,
Are you saying you have updates or
I
information?
have information for it, but I didn't know if we wanted to skip it and come back to it so that we can help some of these
I don't
people
think
be able
this
to
is
go
going
home.
to take very long.
No, oh, okay. the homeowner is absolutely against a business being run out of his home. It is a rental property. The tenant did come in, speak with me. He said that he is changing everything to the PO box. I haven't seen the trucks there. The trucks are all gone.
What kind of business is
So
this?
shower doors. And he's moving out. The tenant was supposed to come, but he didn't come. He came to the PD and I told him, well, get all your stuff and come and prove it to me. Okay, no problem. I'll get it all done. So I don't know if maybe he's started moving out or what he's doing, but I don't have all of the indicators that I had before to show that he is still running the business.
RGSG
That's the owner of the home.
is the property owner,
It's Rafael and Sandra Garcia. It's the
But-
initials.
that's not his business that's
Not-
being run out of the,
I know for
it's
100,
somebody else's.
not his business.
It's his tenant.
Tenant.
It's the tenant's business.
Okay, and the tenant is, you're saying moving out?
The
or-
tenant is moving out. Yeah, they're moving somewhere else.
The tenant is not a property owner, so
Right.
it's the responsibility of the property owner to make sure that if there's a business
That's
being
why
run
the
out of
guy's
his
no longer living
property,
there.
they need a
Okay.
business tax receipt.
The-
So
The homeowner does everything I tell him to do. He's
he hadn't done this.
whatever you need. Well, that was
That
a
is
little
why the
beyond-
tenant
No,
is-
no, actually, he went there and took all. He's like, get all these shower doors. He's very strict. He does do everything. But it's hard because tenants have rights.
Okay,
So who was supposed to be here tonight? The property
The
owner?
tenant was
The
coming.
tenant.
Tenant is the one that agreed to come. He came but he didn't come.
And the property owner isn't here to represent his,
No, I told him the tenant said he was coming.
Okay, and then do you know by any chance when the tenant or there'll be,
He's supposed to move out within 60 days. He did the notice and whatever.
60 days? Okay, 60 days.
supposed to.
Yeah, he might, but like I said, I don't have all the indicators he had before. The trucks are all gone. He put them in Boynton, he said. And I haven't seen them there.
Well, I wouldn't want to.
So my interpretation is this property is in violation of the town code.
unless he can provide you the business tax receipt from Boynton or Palm Beach County.
Well, I think he may have put them at someone. I didn't, it's none of my business. They're not there. So I don't sit there and ask people specifics. But I don't have proof anymore. Like there was a little more proof.
This was the house that had like a bunch of vans there by
Yes.
6, 7 a.m. every morning and all, okay.
Yes. But I have not
I've-
seen them and nobody else is complaining about it since I issued the notice.
Okay,
I just don't want to punish the homeowner because I don't really blame the homeowner.
That's the hard part
But-
is
But
the owner.
the homeowner, you
Yeah.
mean the property owner?
Yes.
Who's responsible for this?
Yes, but it's not like he lives here and he knows.
Doesn't matter. The property is either in violation or it's not. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 22-0357, I move that this board find the respondent in violation of section 54-20, operating a business out of a residence without a current business tax receipt of the town of Code of Ordinances. I move that respondent be ordered to correct the violation on or before September 28th, 2022. And if respondents fail to comply with this order, a fine in the amount of $50 per day may be imposed.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed?
Aye.
Motion's carried. All right, next case, 220358. Michelle Ann and Stephen
Rasmussen.
Rasmussen. Driveway and disrepair. Dana, would you like to
Yes.
bring us up to date, please?
How do we pronounce your last name? I'm sorry.
Rasmussen.
Rasmussen. Okay, I
Yes, sir.
apologize.
I don't know.
I had someone when I was a kid had that similar last name.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I went by.
This is.
On June 3rd of 2022, I issued the property located at 8020 Westlake Drive a violation for the driveway and disrepair, section 3420 and 34-19 9B. It was posted on the front door and sent regular mail. Once the violation was issued, shortly after Miss Rasmussen contacted me, they had some other violations. They were working on a bunch of different things. She communicated with me. She asked for a little more time, and everything was pretty much taken care of except for the driveway. So since that wasn't done and someone else made a comment about because their driveway and how come their driveway gets to stay like this, yada, yada, I was like, okay, well, I guess it's taking a little longer. So therefore, on Monday, August 15th, 2022, I posted the hearing notice on the door for the same section, the photos in the thumb drive. Again, I was contacted by Ms. Rasmussen, communicated well again, and said that she would send her husband, which she kept all of her words. He's here to explain what exactly is going to happen with the driveway.
So June 3rd and August 13th, is that?
August 15th,
15th, okay.
yes, with communication.
Mr. Rasmussen?
So we just decided to tear out the whole driveway and have it completely replaced with concrete instead of asphalt. So I had to get a new survey, an updated survey, which I have. I just got it on Friday of last week. This is just a copy. I don't have the sealed. They didn't mail it to me yet, or haven't gotten it in the mail, but I have an updated survey. I have a estimate from a contractor. I have the invoice from the survey company, and my contractor is going to apply for a permit this week. So I don't know if you want all this.
And when do they plan to do the job and complete it? If you already.
So as soon as we have a permit, the contractor said concrete orders are 4 to 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
But he said, as soon as he has a permit, he'll put me on the schedule. It'll be 4 to 6 weeks, and then it's like a project.
Okay.
I guess my question is why? It seems like a long time to me if you were notified June 3rd.
So actually, I've actually been started with these plans prior to June 3rd, but had to get I want to do another, I want to close in my carport additionally. So I was trying to tie it all together. It took a long time to get the survey adjusted, get it back from the survey company. They had to come out a couple different times, lots of phone calls, lots of follow up. I literally just got the survey Friday of last week. So couldn't do anything until the survey was updated, and it was a long process.
Yeah, and you have to notify the health department too, I think, don't you? If you're gonna have driveway done.
Yes.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that, no.
But your contractor should know that.
Right.
Any
Like
questions?
when they come for their permits and stuff, Lake Clark gives everything to them.
Yeah.
And lets them know.
Any questions of Mr. Rasmussen?
No, I think it's pretty clear. We're just gonna have to probably wait, but it's still in violation, so.
You want to make a motion?
Yeah. So, based on the testimony evidence presented in case number 22-0358, I move that the board find the respondent in violation of sections
3420.
24-20, 4-19, sub 9, sub B, and of the town ordinances, and I move that the respondents be ordered to correct the violation on or before, and I'm gonna go October 26 of 2022. If the response failed to comply with this order, a fine in the amount of $50 per day may be imposed.
Effective what day?
Effective October 26th.
I'll second that.
Okay.
The main goal, what we would like, if you can come next month,
Sure.
give us an update of what's going on, because obviously, hopefully, we're further along. I'm thinking that by the next meeting, they would already have a date, you'll have, so we'll.
You should be scheduled
So then we're
for
prepared.
concrete by the next date in order to.
And you can explain to them what's coming down the line too and push them
Yeah.
along.
Yep, no problem.
And talk to them about the health department.
Okay.
Well, that will happen when the permitting,
Fine.
yeah.
Further discussion? Ready to vote?
Yeah.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. So
The-
you understand what we just did?
I do.
The next meeting is September 28th at 6:30. You'll get like an order kind of explaining tonight's meeting. That date will be in there also.
Okay.
But just so you have it in your.
But we're giving you to the
October.
Right.
26th of October.
Basically,
But I'll come to update you. where we're
Okay,
Yes.
at. Okay.
thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, case 220359, Damian Garcia. Safety
Yes.
issue with pool in the backyard, no positive barrier. Dana?
Which one? Who's Damien? Okay, which, so, oh, okay. I'm like trying to figure out what property are you here for? Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay. Just
There's
give
a
us
there's a
one
language
second.
barrier.
Yep.
So,
Dana's going to bring us up to date and then you can come up and tell us.
on June 14th of 2022, I issued the property located at 1605 Carissa Road a violation for having the pool open. It's a home that's under construction, but the pool was open to the public. Section 125-475 subsection I. The notice was posted on the front door and sent via regular mail. I did not hear anything, and Manny also confirmed the pool and stuff at this violation. So Manny Palacios works for Hybrid,
Okay.
helps with the building official variances.
Mm-hmm.
With after the violation, they did have like this temporary barrier up.
Which is what we see now?
It's like they're using the black fencing type of stuff. There's
Instead of
people
that
there
orange.
every day. They're always there. However, on the day that I went to issue the hearing notice, I had not received any communication. On August 15th of 2022 at 2:10 p.m., I put the hearing notice for the violation on the front door. Since the hearing notice, I was contacted by the contracting company, who is actually one of our prior employees, Melissa Espinosa, and explained everything to her. And she let me know that there was a language barrier. The homeowner didn't exactly understand. He thought that if he put up the barrier that he was in compliance. So I re-explained that all to her, that he wasn't, and that when I went there, that the barrier was fully open when I issued the hearing notice. Like I could walk right in. You could see the pool from the street and the water. So which like the fencing that's right next to the house, that was missing, and that's how you could fully see the pool. So I explained that the homeowner would need to come and explain what's going on. Melissa did tell me that the fencing material was on order, but they weren't going to be able to get it for a month. So it's in progress. She told me they had their permits already.
Have we
Do they
confirmed
have,
that?
is there a permit?
No,
There is no existing permit.
no.
And is it,
Because
is this a new pool?
No,
It's existing. It's an old
No.
pool.
they bought this home and are fully gutted it and are fully remodeling it.
So this was an easy one.
Okay, so this is Mr.
This is
Garcia?
Damien, yes.
And your name is?
My name is Michael Diaz. I'm 7820 Pine Tree Lane and 8301 Pine Tree Lane.
Michael Diaz, okay.
I was like, you look so familiar.
So, Mr. Diaz,
Yes, sir.
what would you like to add
It's
to the
really simple.
conversation?
So he's pulled permits for everything. He's trying to stay in compliance with everything. Manny, actually, they told him, because he didn't have a net and he didn't know. They told him that it was in violation, and he asked, what do I need to do to stay in compliance? And they told him netting, and he didn't understand, like the netting fence. So he went up and put that up. The fencing is on order. The actual firm, the solid fence is on order. He says he has the permit in the car, and he's willing to do anything you want to be in compliance. He said he'll even put another net around the pool if you need. He just didn't understand, that's all.
So this is an application for a permit, I think you just said the permit, there is no.
Yeah, I have in my notes that no permit application was submitted.
He says he has them.
Yeah.
Can he go
Yeah,
get it?
bring
so we
it.
can See what he has?
He was just telling me that he'll do anything to stay in
I
compliance.
understand.
He just didn't understand what they.
Okay.
You happen to know when they're expecting the fence to go in?
He told me 3 weeks,
In 3 weeks?
3 weeks, the permanent fence will go
The per-
Mr. Diaz told you that.
in. Mr.
Garcia.
Mr. Garcia.
I mean,
I'm Diaz.
sorry.
Permanent fencing
I'm
or the permanent?
sorry.
Permanent
Garcia
fence. It had a chain link fence, but it was pretty dilapidated
Right.
and they wanted to do everything new in the house.
Mhm.
Is he able to put up, like we saw previously, the Home Depot orange type?
So
Yeah.
he has the black, which totally conceals it. It's up today.
But that's a silt fence and only like 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, the silt
Right.
fences are only like 2.5 or
The
3
orange
feet.
fence is-
He said,
They're told.
Usually four.
What's our requirement?
We don't have one. That's just
Yeah,
a
that's-
recommendation. Our requirement's the permanent fencing.
Oh, I see.
the truth
This
is,
is just an
if
extra.
anyone wanted to breach the property, it didn't matter either one of those fences.
Yes, that is true.
But like I said, he just didn't understand. He said he'd do whatever you guys recommend.
Mhm.
If you want him to change it to the orange fencing, he will.
Well, if he has a permit and this work is in progress, we have pretty much done the
Yeah,
same
he's-
thing with,
And I would almost think for his safety, just to put up that orange fence, so no
Yeah.
no
He
kids
could
or
also
anything,
put it
dogs.
around-
and-
He said he would put it around the pool and leave that one up if you like, or vice versa.
I'll talk to Nate.
Okay, so it was just a clerical error. The permit was actually issued April 26th of 2022. So he does have his permit.
thank you for going to get that.
April. April what?
20.
April 26th of 2022. And what the contractor was saying, there's just a holdup on the material and they've been trying to get the material and they told her a month.
And that permit is for the fence only?
It is for the fence and the gates.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
As builders, I'm a builder as well, and we get told dates, for materials and products and production. And
We
80% of the time you get it and 20% of the time it's 4 months after the time that they're promising. So it's something that we can't really control a lot of times.
So
How long is the permit good for? Is it 6 months?
yeah,
So we're at April, so October.
expire in
November.
October.
Without any inspections.
It should be.
Well, and he's expecting material in a few weeks. He's
Yeah.
probably further along than most of the cases that we've heard and continued.
Right.
I
yeah,
know the fence is on the low side. That.
I also think being able to not see through the fence, for me personally, it doesn't matter if it's the black fencing or the orange, not being able to see through it also is a deterrent to kids wanting to go into it and to people wanting to access your pool. I don't know if we can determine there's one that's preferable, or it won't put it in compliance either way if he adds the orange fencing.
Well, I guess the question is there a secondary fence around the pool itself?
You can ask for that, but it doesn't put it in compliance either.
Right.
What's going to put it in compliance is in 3 weeks when they install the fence.
ahí también va.
Okay.
Yeah, he says the fence is
Él
supposed to go
puso
there
una
as
nota
well.
de que
Okay,
se iba a
so-
poner ahí.
We could continue the case.
Yes.
We could find it in
Okay.
Puso
violation.
una nota.
I mean,
Es una nota.
Él hizo
I
una
don't
nota.
think so.
He put it
Dijo
on-
que iba a hacer una nota.
Because it's supposed to be a driveway, so it's supposed to-
Are we gonna want secondary?
Yes.
I don't know if he has a fence
Yeah.
around
Yes.
the pool. Are we gonna want that? Like the
Sí,
other?
hay una nota que él iba a hacer
That's
para eso.
something that-
Okay, perfect.
It's
Mi esposa lo hizo.
it's not required by code, she said.
Okay, de una nota.
None of those are required by code. The only thing that's required is the permanent fencing. That's what, the only way this will come into compliance.
That's just something like the town has always recommended
It's a recommendation,
that
not
we do
required.
this so that you have something. You have
Something is better
of
than
a
nothing.
barrier. Yes, you have something.
In the meantime, to keep, and to show like
Good
the
faith.
goodwill, good faith, yes, thank you, that, you want to protect
Right.
people from accessing,
Is there water in the?
it's a long night.
Yes.
Is
There is
the
water,
pool,
clean, beautiful water.
La piscina está limpia y.
Sí.
no,
Yeah, there's
and
water.
and the pool is in operating or it has water.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pool
Bañar,
is
ahí se
neat.
So
pone en la
then-
piscina.
So we want to make sure that we keep that
You
barrier
want to
up.
continue this case, you want to find it in violation.
Yeah.
Which it is in violation.
Yeah,
And
And the first notice was June 14th.
I'm very confused on why it's in violation.
It'll be in violation. It
Because
won't
you
be in
don't have a
compliance
fence.
until the permanent fence is up. However,
Oh.
what we have done on past cases that were not as far along as this case, was continue the case. And we are giving you the opportunity to come back and come into compliance in the 3 weeks when the building materials come in and the fence is installed, and then we get the notice that it's in compliance.
So would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 22-0359, I move that this board continue this matter until the Code Enforcement Board hearing on September 28th, 2022.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I have a couple of questions. Is there another side to the house that has a fence also? I mean,
So I just explained to them because it's missing on the permit. He said that, no, it's supposed to be there. So the contractor might have just forgot. It's like a very small section. There's another photo.
There's
the driveway side there where the garage is.
There's gonna be a gate there. He said, they're gonna have the contractor come.
Okay, I got you. Okay, all right. And it has that same fencing, right, that nobody can get in the back, that black fencing, right? Yeah.
Wes, you have another?
Is there a fence in the hedges?
There's a wall, I believe.
From the doctor's office, right?
Doctor's
Okay.
office has a wall.
And there's a wooden gate to the neighbor's side.
Mhm.
By letting us knowing that that's a 2.5 foot tall, whatever the silt fence is, does that leave the town open, knowing that and continuing without saying you should put something a little more sturdy in there or something?
Yeah, I don't know that it does. It might not be a bad suggestion to have him ring the pool, you know, with the orange fence or whatever.
Yeah.
Just sort of be double safe in the meantime.
Okay. So do you want to make a verbal amendment to your motion that you
To
recommend?
add,
Something around the pool itself?
Can I interject for a moment? I was unaware that it was 2.5. I just asked him, it's 4 feet. It's just
Yeah.
sagging. It's 4 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty
It's 4 feet
pretty
tall.
sturdy,
Well,
actually. It looks.
And we have a sample of that in the car as well.
We just need to tighten it then so that it's higher.
Right.
Tighten it or frame it.
Para que es-
Se partió una madera que ya la repuse. Por eso es que se miraba así, porque trae una madera para unir uno con otro. Es una sola pieza, pero una madera se partió trabajando alguien y por eso es que se miraba así.
It was
Ya la-
higher and
le puse
there was a
nuevo.
piece of wood that snapped in it. And it
Okay.
folded.
I guess if that is in fact, 3.5, 4 feet close to what it should be, then I don't have a problem with it. But if it's 2.5, I do have a problem.
It's 4 feet.
4
Es
feet.
que lo que un inspector fue el que me dijo cuál tenía que poner.
So the motion before us is to continue the case.
I
It's been
second.
moved and seconded. Does anybody want to amend that motion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. So
Excellent.
we gave them till
September 28th.
September 28th to come into
Applying.
compliance.
Just, we didn't find them in violation. We're just
Right.
continuing the
Continuing.
case.
We're-
Yes.
Right, you're right.
And if it's not done by the next meeting, make sure to come and tell us where it stands.
Perfect.
Keep us
I'm
up
sure
to
it'll be
date.
finished by then anyway.
Okay, well, you never know.
Supposed to be one month exactly for today. 23 is finished and started.
Great.
Good, okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you. Have a good night. You're welcome.
Okay, the next case is 220362, Miguel
Mr.
Joseph
Molina.
and Danielda Molina.
Mm-hmm.
Loose dirt, ungrassed areas throughout the yard.
On April 29th of 2022, I issued the property located at 7137 Clark Road a violation for the loose dirt, ungrassed areas, section 3420 and 3419 subsection 3. It was posted at the front door and sent via mail. I was contacted, a message was left about everything that was going on with all the violations.
in that he was waiting for a little bit of rain. I think there was an issue with the irrigation. So, and the hand watering. So he needed a little more time for that. So they did actually put some sod down, but not enough.
When was that picture taken?
And the sod, it's a rental home.
But
Yeah,
when
those
was
are
the
the
picture
pictures.
taken?
Those are taken today. So it's a little hard. He put a good amount of sod down. The tenants didn't keep up on the watering. So all of that had died. So I did, on August 15th, I issued the hearing notice, which was posted on the front door. I was contacted by Mr. Molina. They were working on the roof. Once the roof is done, the entire yard's getting sodded, but they don't want to do it before the roof because, you know, they got the dumpster, their cars are parking all over the grass for the workers, and the roof will be done within a week or two. And then he plans on sodding the yard.
Yeah, but this started April 29th, you said?
So, yeah, but they were working on complying. So when you're kind of working on complying, I work with people, but then it didn't end up being enough. And then that sod ends
Does
up
not
dying.
appear so.
So,
Okay.
but
Mr. Molina, would you like to present your side of the case?
Dana, are you finished with
yes,
your information? Okay.
yes,
Mr. Molina?
I got told about this morning. I come in for this meeting, so I'm fairly, it's my brother that's been talking to you guys,
yes.
Oh, okay.
And who are you?
I'm Miguel Moya.
Miguel.
First one on that.
Okay.
They're all the property owners, the family.
Yeah, we own a bunch of property in Lake Clark Shores.
But I've been communicating with
It's
Joe,
my brother you talk to.
right? Yeah.
I don't get too involved. I got things I gotta worry about.
Mr. Molina.
Okay, so basically we're just redoing the roof. Right now, as a matter of fact, they're doing now. There's a big dumpster in the middle of it. So as soon as that's done, we're gonna resod it. So
And you
it's not-
can't resod it before then?
For what? So people can just stomp on it and destroy it?
Well, I mean, I've had my roof replaced and I didn't have people parking all over the yard.
It'll be done like within a week or two. How's that? Is that fair enough? I just had to redo this in my other house in Wellington, resod that. So that was a
Discussion.
The roof is just being repaired, not replaced.
No,
Oh, no, they're getting a whole new roof.
Full
There's other
on.
photos. You can see the dumpsters
Full
there.
on
The
roof.
workers are there. doing the
They're,
roof.
but it's in process right
That's
now.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
The company,
there's the
the
dumpster.
roofing company took a little longer than they should. It's not
Oh, God.
their fault.
Like everything else right now.
So when do you anticipate having the sod?
As soon as that roof's done, we're gonna go ahead and resod it.
When the roof's gonna be done.
Everything's off. They put the tarp on it. I just drove by it. I'm way in here just now. So the tarp's on, so they just tile on it. And this be done like in a week or something.
You're putting tile on it?
I don't know what he's putting on there.
Oh,
I said, I'm not.
Well, that's important. I just want to make sure, so because if you tell us, hey, it's gonna be this, then that's what we're gonna go by.
By the next meeting, we'll be done. How's that?
Are they putting in a new irrigation system as
Yes.
well?
Is the roof material right handy? Because we've had other people have trouble getting the roof
Look
material.
at that picture. I think it's up there right now.
Yep.
It looks like
Paper?
the-
yeah, they were
roof-
working on the
okay,
roof when I drove by
Yeah.
earlier, and they're probably done even more.
Oh, is that what, the 30 weight?
That's what it's like, yeah.
Yeah, with the thing, I'm talking what goes on top of that.
The actual tile, I'm assuming they have, yeah, they wouldn't have started work if they're,
But the dumpster will be gone where he can fix the yard,
Yeah,
even if the
yeah.
tile's not on the roof.
they'll be done.
Okay.
Like I said, I think by the next meeting, we'll have everything done.
So you're saying that the yard will be finished by September 28th?
That won't take that long. They did my house in Wellington, the yard, and it's about 3 times that big in one day, so it shouldn't take that long.
Okay.
They do.
September 28th is our next meeting.
Yeah.
So would someone like to make a motion? Do you want to continue this? Do you want to impose, find them in violation and give them till the next meeting to come into compliance or,
I'll make a motion.
okay?
Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 220362, I move that this board find the respondent in violation of section 3420, 3419-3 of the Town Code of Ordinances. I move that the respondent be ordered to correct the violation on or before September 28th, 2022, And if respondents fail to comply with this order, a fine in the amount of $50 per day may be imposed.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Quickest one of the night.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Just tell your brother to keep letting me know.
Yeah, go ahead.
How am I missing all these?
Which one?
And maybe I would like to have the town attorney talk, the one that loose dirt, only because can loose dirt, what is really loose dirt? Because you could say.
It's in our code.
That's the way it's written in the code.
Loose dirt, ungrassed areas, and it's both. So that's why I wrote loose dirt and ungrassed areas. The code specifically says.
I guess if
Yeah,
it's not
loose dirt
weeded
is
or
like,
not grass.
is
it's
dirt
loose
that'll
dirt.
blow. It'll transfer from one property to another. So like if a good storm came through, a ton of dirt's going all over.
That you don't have it glued together.
No, that I get. I'm just,
You know.
someone wanted to play technicality. That's what I was getting at. Because even surrounded by a palm, we put a circle and it has dirt.
Yeah.
So someone could play that game. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
Nothing.
why I did the loose dirt, ungrassed areas. Like if you have a palm tree with a little, I don't really consider that loose dirt.
Okay.
But
No,
when, like people have like a whole entire row of hedges and stuff and it's all dirt, that's loose dirt. Because you should have that.
I'm not an attorney, but I'm just, how attorneys will come up with creative ways to beat around the bush and
Johnny
play the
Cochran.
game. I'm just saying that maybe there is other wording. That's all.
If you want, you should read the ordinance. It's a very
Yeah.
common one.
Yeah, it's a silly ordinance.
Okay, so case 220365.
Silly written, I mean.
Verzada Properties, driveway in disrepair. Dana?
On June 2nd of 2022, I issued the property located at 7101 Clark Road a violation for the driveway in disrepair, section 3420 and 34199B. It was posted at the property and sent regular mail. I got zero communication, which is odd because usually the Mercedes communicate very well. Every notice I've ever mailed to the home because they own the apartments adjacent to this resident. Never got any communication whatsoever. So on August 15th of 2022, I posted today's meeting hearing notice on the door. I still have yet to have heard any contact from them, which again, like I said, is odd. And the driveway is just,
So you have no indication that anything is going to come into compliance?
not as of right now, no.
There is someone living in the property?
Yes, I usually see a car there. When I went up to the door, there's like cigarette butts on the table and an ashtray, like somebody sits out there, so.
It's a rental.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely a rental, yes.
Okay.
But usually they always call, so we're doing our fire safety inspections and stuff, and they've gotten letters for that, so usually they're very good. Hopefully when they call me about that, I will ask them about this.
Do we have a forwarding address by any chance of these?
It
That-
goes.
Because the tenant could be just not passing it on, I'm
That's-
assuming.
That's exactly what it gets mailed to his.
The
address.
registered.
Business.
It's on Papa. I don't mail it. I post it at the residence and then I just mail it regular to
The registered address, right, for the property owner.
just where I mail everything for the apartments. I mailed a ton of violations and
Gotcha.
so hopefully, I don't know, sometimes it changes hands if it's a son taking care of it. Sometimes the dad has called me or a property manager, but someone's always contacted me.
Can we agree based on the
Yeah.
pictures that we have that the property is in
Is a-
violation?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll go ahead and make it. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 22-0365, I move that this board find the respondents in violation of section 34-20 and 34-19 sub 9 sub B driveway in disrepair of the town code of ordinances. And I move that the respondents be ordered to correct the violations on or before September 28th, 2022. And if the respondents fail to comply with this order, a fine of $50 a day may be imposed.
Maybe or will be?
I said may.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion?
You said these people respond very well. This is not. the
Yeah,
norm.
this is odd. So I'll try to see if I even have a number or something something.
Because I'm just wondering if $50 or maybe should we just do 100? I don't know what to get someone's attention, obviously.
You haven't gotten it so far, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if a bigger number would maybe get them to move faster. If you guys are willing to.
Maybe they're out of town. I'm not sure. They're usually very good about it.
Out of town since June 2nd?
I don't know. I'm just guessing because I've been here
She's
15
not their
years and
defense
the Mercer
attorney.
days have been very responsive to me on that apartment building and this house.
Do you want to vote on this or would someone like to make an amendment? You ready to vote? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Board comments, suggestions, updates. Emily, do you have anything for us?
We just have a vacant seat.
You have a vacancy. We have a vacancy. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay.
No.
So is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion that.
There a second?
Debbie.
Second.
Second.
She's not.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Who's going to oppose going home? Unless they're in trouble with this town.